I'm here with Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Alexander, it looks like Boris Johnson is now set to become the next Prime Minister of the UK. You were telling me before we did this video that he has now won the first round, and it looks like it's Prime Minister Boris Johnson, unless he does something to really screw it up. Alexander, what's going on here?
That's exactly right. I mean, it is now, I would have thought, a virtual certainty that Boris Johnson will win the Conservative Party leadership election and that he will be the next British Prime Minister. Now, the Conservatives have this incredibly complicated leadership election process whereby you have various candidates and there's a process of rounds of votes by Conservative MPs in the House of Commons to whittle the number down to just two, until eventually they've got those two, and those two then are elected by the entire membership. The entire membership of the Conservative Party chooses between those two candidates, and whoever wins the membership, the vote with the membership, then becomes Conservative Party leader and Prime Minister. Now, it has long been known that the party membership supports Boris Johnson. The big question has been whether he had enough support amongst Conservative MPs to get through to the point where he would be put to the membership along with one other candidate as a potential Conservative Party leader. And we've now got the results, and he came amongst Conservative MPs runaway top. He got 114 votes. The second candidate was a man called Jeremy Hunt, who's our Foreign Secretary, only got 43, and Michael Gove came third with 37. So Boris Johnson won more votes than the other two leading candidates, Hunt and Gove, put together. So I think it is now an absolute certainty that he will win the membership. The parliamentary vote, and after that the membership vote, and that he will be Conservative Party leader, and then at the beginning, in the middle of July, the next Prime Minister of Great Britain, unless, as sometimes happens with Boris Johnson, he does something completely crazy and idiotic and blows his chances up. But I think that's unlikely now.
It's unlikely, but with Boris Johnson, it could happen. I mean, he's known to make many gaffes, that's for sure. But what does this mean, Alexander, for Brexit? And what does this mean for the Brexit Party, Nigel Farage's Brexit Party?
Right. Let's talk about, first of all, about Brexit, because he's also had another piece of good news, which is on the same day as MPs were voting, the Conservative MPs were voting on who their leader should be, their next leader should be, and giving Boris Johnson this very strong vote. The House of Commons debated a motion pushed by the Labour Party to enable the Labour Party to take control from the government, the parliamentary timetable, with the intention that the Labour Party would then propose legislation to prevent a no-deal Brexit. And there was widespread expectations that the Labour Party would succeed in seizing control of the timetable. But interestingly, it failed. And it failed despite around 10 Conservative MPs voting with the Labour Party. The point is that more than 20 Labour MPs representing constituencies which strongly supported Leave either voted with the government against the motion proposed by their own party, or they abstained. Now, what that means in practical terms is that the government and the future Prime Minister, who, as I say, is now almost certain to be Boris Johnson, will continue to control the parliamentary timetable. There will not be legislation to prevent a no-deal Brexit, in which case it is looking extremely likely that Brexit will indeed happen on the 31st of October, as Boris Johnson has unequivocally said will be the case, And if, as also seems almost certain, the European Union refuses to amend the deal that it negotiated with Theresa May, that will be a no-deal Brexit. What I mean by all of this is that the chances of a no-deal Brexit have now markedly increased. So Boris Johnson, as of this moment, is looking to be in a stronger position than many people expected he would be a few days ago.
Okay, and the Brexit Party?
Right. Well, I think from the point of view of the Brexit Party, they must be saying to themselves, if we hadn't done as strongly as we did in the European Parliament elections 3 weeks ago, and if we hadn't done as strongly as we did in the Peterborough by-election, Peterborough being a parliamentary seat which has mostly voted Conservative, but in which the Brexit Party forced the Conservatives into third place, we would not be seeing a pro-Brexit minister, who is Boris Johnson, rising to head the Conservative Party now. And I think that is absolutely the case. So Nigel Farage will be telling his supporters, both within the Brexit Party and in the wider electorate, that we are winning. This is what the Brexit Party is for. If you continue to support us, there is now, at last, a real possibility that we will get a real Brexit on the 31st of October. Now, if we get a real Brexit on the 31st of October, a Brexit which is not like the one that Theresa May negotiated, which puts Britain in a vassal state situation to the EU, but a genuine Brexit, then I think the Brexit Party and Nigel Farage will consider that they've done their job, and we will probably see them fade from the scene. If that doesn't happen, the Brexit Party will continue to grow in strength. And Boris Johnson, very interestingly, made precisely that point the day before yesterday, when at a press conference he said that unless Brexit happens on the 31st of October, then both the Conservative and the Labour parties face the prospect of being voted out of existence.
Okay, so Boris Johnson might actually, oddly enough, be the man that saves the Tories.
He might save the Tories. He might even save the Labour Party, or right. Interestingly enough. I mean, we shouldn't overlook that possibility. But, I mean, he is, it seems to me, the last hope of the British political establishment. Now, I ought to make it very clear, I consider Boris Johnson a clown and a charlatan, and I don't think he's going to be a good Prime Minister of Britain by any circumstances. But if the priority is to get Brexit, to get the job done with Brexit, then it seems to me that if you want it done on the 31st of October, and you don't want it seen this thing to go on beyond that, he is the only person who can do it, who has any chance of being able to do it. And I think more and more people within the Conservative Party are coming round to that view. And I think that is why support for him is growing. Now, interestingly, the interesting question will be, if he does his job and gets Britain out of the European Union on the 31st of October, what will become of him then? Will he be able to remain Prime Minister for very long, given how many enemies he has in the Conservative Party and the many doubts there are about him? Or will his success in achieving Brexit consolidate and secure his position within the Conservative Party and as Prime Minister? We shall see. My guess is the second, and that if Boris Johnson gets Brexit done, as he says he will, on the 31st of October, on real, proper Brexit terms, then the likelihood is that he will remain Prime Minister for quite a while.
You think that Boris Johnson could take on Corbyn head-to-head would beat him?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
If he delivers on Brexit.
Yes. I mean, I should stress, I don't think one should underestimate Corbyn at all. And I think Corbyn is a formidable electoral fighter, as he showed in the June 2017 general election. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that the Boris Johnson-led Conservative Party would be able to defeat a Jeremy Corbyn-led Labour Party in a general election. But I'm going to be absolutely frank about this. I can't see who else could do it. I think that any other Conservative leader or potential leader would be most unlikely to deliver Brexit on the 31st of October. And I can't see any other possible Conservative Party leader taking on successfully either Jeremy Corbyn or, even more importantly, Nigel Farage, who would still be there in that case.
All right. And finally, Alexander, is there any chance that the European Union, now that they see Boris Johnson will most likely be the UK PM, is there any chance that they would give a little as far as the Theresa May agreement goes?
I think they might do, but I think that's most unlikely. I think what would probably happen is that it would crystallise opinion within the EU around the EU integrationist, globalist, Atlanticist, neoliberal hardliners led by Emmanuel Macron, whose attitude is we need to get Britain out of the European Union as quickly as possible. And if that means accepting Boris Johnson and a no-deal Brexit, so be it. Because I think that the idea of Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of Britain, fills the EU with absolute horror.
All right. Alexander Mercouris, Editor-in-Chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Guys, if you like this video, click on that subscribe button down below. Click on the notifications bell to make sure you get notifications every time we push out a new video. Remember to smash that like button as well. And of course, visit the Duran shop, pick up a t-shirt, pick up an embroidered polo shirt, pick up some mugs, pick up hats, pick up tank tops. We've got stickers now. It's all kinds of stuff on the Duran shop. What do you have, Alexander, over there?
Well, let me first of all point out to this beautiful polo shirt I'm wearing. Absolute grade 1 shirt, 100% cotton, incredibly comfortable to wear, very, very comfortable in this cool, rainy weather which we're having currently in London. And it looks amazing. My wife loves it. And on hot days when I go out in it and walk my dogs, I get admiring glances. So I can't recommend this shirt too strongly. I think if you wear it, or you buy it and wear it, you will please yourself because you'll own a beautiful shirt with this beautiful embroidery of our logo here. And of course, you'll also be supporting the Duran and all the work we're doing. But it isn't just the shirt that I have, Alex. I've also got 2 gorgeous mugs. I've got tea in this one, by the way, which I've been drinking from Earl Grey, my favourite tea, especially on a cold day like this. And you see, this is my mug. This is the one that has the tea in it. And that's our logo, the double-headed eagle, pointing east and west. It's 15 ounces. It's beautiful to hold. It's incredibly comfortable handle. I've got weak hands, by the way, which makes me prefer a nice strong mug like this. I feel I've got good stability of it, and you absolutely have with a mug like this. And as I said, I've drunk tea from it. I also drank beer from it, and it was fantastic. This mug is my wife's favorite mug. It's got the coat of arms of Moscow, and we selected it. We selected this design partly because it's the city where Alex and I met for the first time. We didn't know each other or know of each other before this chance meeting that took place. And you can see that it's got the double-headed eagle like our logo, which points east and west, as we do, so that we cover all points of the compass. And it's got the St. George on his horse, the Christian warrior fighting and slaying the dragon of untruth. And that's what we feel we do. We slay the dragon of fake news and of untruth, and we give you clear, objective analysis. And we try to explain to you what is going on. And if you drink from mugs like this, as I do all the time now, I can assure you it will help you to understand what is going on in the world even better, because you'll be feeling refreshed and invigorated all the time, better able to follow the news, able to absorb even more of it, even better to understand it, and certainly rise to and perhaps exceed our level.
Yes.
So you can buy these mugs and help yourself also, and again help us.
Yes, they are magic mugs. Absolutely. And what else do we have? We also have an ebook. You mentioned analysis and understanding what's going on in the world. We have an ebook on Brexit, and we have another ebook coming out on Russiagate. You wrote the foreword to the one on Brexit. It's $4.99. You get the ebook, which is 5 videos transcribed in a real simple format for everybody to read. And you have a foreword by yourself. Do you want to say a quick word about the ebook?
Absolutely. I mean, this is actually, because it's all about Brexit, it's on the same subject that we just talked about in this video. We were talking about how it's the Brexit Party's rise, which is ensuring that Boris Johnson will become the next leader of the Conservative Party, and that increases the prospect of Brexit actually happening on the 31st of October. To be absolutely clear about this, without the rise of the Brexit Party, there would be no Brexit on the 31st of October, and possibly at all. And the reason that has happened is something we discuss fully and thoroughly in our book. We went over it in our various programs, which we transcribed, analysing how the political class in London tried to sabotage Brexit, explaining all the complicated parliamentary manoeuvres that were going on in London because of all of that. And we also explain how that provoked a huge popular reaction, especially in England and Wales, the heartland territory of the United Kingdom, and how that reaction was focused around Nigel Farage and his Brexit Party, and is sweeping the board across London. And we also point out in our foreword how we predicted all that would happen way back in 2016, just after the referendum took place. So it explains the whole story of Brexit up to now, and makes a story which is made to look very complicated actually simple, because that is what it is.
All right. And you can also donate to us guys on PayPal and Patreon, as well as on Subscribestar. The links are in the description box down below. You can also get a copy of this video in audio format on Soundcloud and on iTunes. Alexander Mercouris, Editor-in-Chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Until next time, everybody, take care.